The U.S. Army is in a dynamic period of change. While transforming to fight current enemies that pose new and unconventional threats, the Army is also becoming lighter, more lethal, and more efficient. PEO Stri is up to this challenge. PEO Stri has been an organization in constant evolution to become the premier training system organization in the world. On March 20th, 1950, weeks before the onset of the surprise attack by North Korea and the beginning of the Forgotten War, the longest-standing agreement among the U.S. military services was signed by the Secretaries of the Army and Navy to work together in the area of training devices, creating the Army Participation Group to work with the Navy Special Devices Agency, located in Long Island, New York. In 1966, the agencies moved from New York to Orlando in the midst of the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War era would lead to significant changes in how our Army trained its soldiers, both on land and in the air. During the war, the Army had more helicopters in the air than all the other services combined. To meet the increasing training requirements of combat, the Army Participation Group initiated the Synthetic Flight Training System in the early 1970s. This device simulated the UH-1 Huey helicopter, the workhorse of the Vietnam War and air cavalry. In 1971, the Army Participation Group became the Army Training Device Agency. About the same time, the Army and Navy in Orlando developed the Multiple Integrated Laser Engagement System, or MILES. This training system, later bought by the Army, dramatically enhanced the realism of combat training, and the same system is still in use today. Recognizing the need for new training technologies in the face of the advancing Soviet threat in Europe, the Army established in 1974 the Project Manager for Training Devices, PM Trade, at Fort Benning, Georgia. In 1976, the Army consolidated PM Trade with the Army Training Device Agency, relocating the PM to Orlando and retaining the PM Trade name. The Conduct of Fire trainers, or COFT, were fielded in 1984 and were the first Army ground combat training systems with 3D graphics. COFT changed the course of simulation and training by providing tank crews a method to conduct virtual tank gunnery together using full-color action scenes and providing interaction with multiple targets. That program, along with the DARPA-developed Simulation Networking Program, or SIMNET, set the stage for the Army's victory at the 1987 Canadian Army Trophy Tank Crew Competition in Germany. This was a major validation of the newly developed and fielded training systems, and it established the United States Army as a world leader in this technological field. PM Trade and the Navy moved from the old Navy base to the new Research Park facilities. The state donated a parcel of land to the military to build a facility for the services who, in partnership with the University of Central Florida's Institute for Simulation and Training, would become the anchor for the Central Florida Research Park, the largest complex of simulation technology companies in the world. The Army proved the importance of simulation and training in 1991 with a swift victory in Operation Desert Storm. Desert Storm validated the Army's realistic training and simulation technology strategy. The U.S. Army Simulation, Training and Instrumentation Command, STRICOM, was activated on 1 August 1992 in Orlando, Florida. PM Trade and the Project Manager for Instrumentation, Targets and Threat Simulators, PM-ITS, were combined to form the new command. STRICOM's mission was to provide centralized management and direction for Army simulation, training, and test instrumentation requirements, and for Distributed Interactive Simulation, DIS. This led to the establishment of the PM for Combined Arms Tactical Training under STRICOM and the Close Combat Tactical Training System. In 1993, STRICOM was led by its first Brigadier General, a field artillery officer from Germany, Brigadier General John Mickisch. During this same time frame, the number of the combat training centers increased, with the addition of the Joint Readiness Training Center opened in Fort Polk, Louisiana. STRICOM provided the instrumentation systems and life cycle management for this new center, as well as for the other existing combat training centers. Its mount site, Shugart Gordon, was named after two soldiers awarded the Medal of Honor for their bravery in Somalia. STRICOM also established the PM for Warfighter Simulation, now the PM for Constructive Simulations. Brigadier General Pete Franklin led STRICOM from 1995 to 1996 and transferred command to Colonel Jim King, who became known as the shortest-serving commander, from July to November of 1996, when Brigadier General John Geist took command. During this time, the Army established a new mission in the Balkans by keeping the peace in Bosnia. Brigadier General Bill Bond, later promoted to Major General, came on the scene in 1998. During his tenure, STRICOM established new relationships with the Special Operations community. PM CAT began delivery of CCTT, and PM Trade began to modernize and develop the Army's urban warfare training sites, and the One SAF program was established. It was also the time of the Kosovo War and the Army's recognition of the need for new aviation training systems. More change was on the horizon, with the Army establishing a contract with the University of Southern California, creating a university-affiliated research center called the Institute for Creative Technologies in Los Angeles, California. The Institute would provide a new kind of realism to Army simulations by taking advantage of technologies used by the entertainment industry. Brigadier General Stephen C. arrived in the fall of 2000 and the new millennium. In his first year, the nation was attacked by terrorists on 9/11, and the Army was again at war, first in Afghanistan, then in Iraq. During this challenging time, Brigadier General C. became the first Program Executive Officer for PEO Stri in 2003. And PEO Stri greatly expanded fielded systems to deployed troops to train as they fight.
On June 2, 2005, Dr. James T. Blake, SES, becomes the organization's first civilian leader. In 2007, PEO Stri continues to experience a dramatic growth in the number of products and services provided to the warfighter, in which 335,000 training systems are fielded to 472 sites worldwide. PEO Stri's budget authority triples from $800 million in 2001 to more than $2 billion in 2007. To meet the urgent demands of the warfighters combating the global war on terrorism, the Army's acquisition executive, the Honorable Claude Bolton, broadens the PEO Stri charter to foster support of the joint forces and cooperation with other PEOs. Prior to 2007, STRICOM and PEO Stri issued contracts under Navy Contracting Authority. In 2007, recognizing the additional warfighter demands being met by PEO Stri, the Army establishes contracting authority in Orlando and designates Dr. Blake as PEO Stri's first head of contracting activity. PEO Stri stands up an Army Acquisition Center of Excellence in 2007 to execute all of the organization's contracting functions. The new charter and increased responsibility within the Army positions PEO Stri to forge strong partnerships with other Army components, the joint community, industry partners, and academic institutions in order to provide our nation's warfighters with the unsurpassed training and testing solutions. The partnerships that have been established and nurtured over the years have produced a thriving and responsive simulation industry that is proudly referred to as the Center of Excellence for Simulation and Training. PEO Stri's goal for the future is a continuation of its great heritage of partnership and innovation. While serving a transforming Army, PEO Stri's focus will continue to serve the warfighters of this nation, providing the world's best training and simulation systems for the world's best fighting force.